Why hello there! Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we are taking a look at the brand new Masters of the Universe Revelation Skelegod by Mattel. And I'll be honest with you, I really don't have an attachment to Masters of the Universe. I did have a couple of He-Man figures when I was little, but it's not really something that stuck with me through my childhood into my adulthood. I think I was born just a little too late to be too into Masters of the Universe. I was born in 1985, and I feel like that was kind of the end of the He-Man era, and we were kind of going into other stuff. The reason why I wanted to check out this figure is because it's by Mattel, and I haven't picked up a Mattel figure in quite a long time. I'm kind of curious to see what they're up to these days, because I kind of feel like they fell off the map when it comes to action figures, unless we're talking about wrestling, because I feel like they're killing it in the wrestling world, but that's not something that I'm really into. But as far as like fantasy, superhero, comic type of stuff, I feel like they don't really do anything these days. So I was pretty excited to see exactly where they were at in the action figure world. And I'm really hoping that this line gets me interested in the He-Man stuff, because I am excited about the upcoming show. It does look cool. And these figures also look pretty badass. They look good, you know, they got pinless joints, they got a bunch of articulation, and I was interested in checking those out. And it just so happens that this is the first one that they released. So as soon as I saw that he was hitting stores, my wife went to Target and found it. It was very easy, wasn't a hassle. So, you know, it made it easy for me to want to check it out. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it, starting off with the box. The figure does come in this big, huge box, because I believe it's like a deluxe figure. This guy costs like 30 bucks. I imagine the rest of the figures will be closer to $20. I guess we'll see, but I figured this guy was a little bit more because he's so big. And he is big. It's a big figure in a huge box. Up here, it does say Masters of the Universe Revelation Skelegod. You can see the figure through the window. You can see that he comes with accessories. Right here, it says Netflix. Up here, it says Masterverse, which might be the name of the line. I'm not 100% sure. It probably is. On the side of the box, we get some really cool looking Skelegod artwork. On the back, we get some more artwork, and then a little bit of information about Skelegod or Skeletor. I guess this is probably like a spoiler, right? Because it seems like this is like an evolution of Skeletor. I guess we'll see. But anyways, here's a look at the other figures that are supposed to come out pretty soon. I'm excited about Moss Man. I think that he looks really nice. He-Man looks good, and then Battle Cat. But yeah, hopefully they go deep with these characters and give us all the different characters that people would want. But it's cool that they're getting to He-Man and Skeletor right away. And for me personally, I think Moss Man is cool. So a pretty good lineup right out the gate here. On this side, it just says Skelegod, Cosmic Lord of Destruction. Ooh, that sounds good. But yeah, enough about this good looking box. Let's go ahead and take Skelegod out and take a look. Okay, so here we have Skelegod right out of the box. And I've got to say, this is a pretty impressive figure. He's got some nice sculpting work, some really good articulation. He came with some cool accessories, not a whole bunch of stuff, but a couple of cool things. And something that really impressed me with this figure and kind of caught me off guard is the soft goods cape. I think that's awesome that they included that, and I love what they did with it. So the way that it's attached to the figure is with this hook and magnet setup. So you have these little hooks that you hook onto the harness on the back, and then there's magnets on there to keep it a little bit more secure. And that is cool. I don't think I've seen that on a figure from like a big company. That is awesome stuff. So the cape is nice, but I'm not crazy about the material that they used. It does look a little thick. I wish they would have went with something a little thinner, you know. But from the front, you know, it's perfectly fine. I think it looks good, and I just really like that magnet idea. I think that's dope. But there's a lot of really great stuff going on. I love how big he is. I like the design. I love his small head. I think that's kind of cool. And it just kind of makes me curious as to what's going on here. Is like Skeletor in some kind of different body, or what's up? And I really like how the head kind of looks like it's floating. They have this translucent green part around the neck. Kind of makes his head look like it's floating, you know. I think that's cool. But man, this is like a big, awesome action figure. I really like what we have going on here. Skelegod does have some pretty nice sculpting and paint details. Starting off at the head, I like the way the face looks. It kind of has a bone-like texture to it. I think that's nice. The teeth are a little hard to see. It looks like it kind of gets a little messy there. You can't really make out the teeth, but I still think it looks all right. And then I like this translucent part around the neck. It kind of makes his head look like it's floating. I think that's a cool effect. We have these horns on the side of his head that have some sculpting work on them. And yeah, I think this is a good looking head sculpt. Then moving down into the body here, I like that logo on the chest with the purple and green. That's awesome. The body itself looks really good too. Look at the color on there. It has like a dark blue with some wash in there. He does have some straps around his arms and stuff. And then on the lower part of the arms, he's got like these, I don't know what you want to call them, not bracelets, I don't know. These forearm guards, these are nice too. They've got a nice silver color with some green. and some black, and yeah, those look good. Got some more straps in here, but yeah, I really like the way the skin looks and the little logo on the chest. I think that's nice. And then here's a look at the shoulder pads. I'm not crazy about the shoulder pads. I think the shoulder pads, I wish they would have had some texture on them to make them look a little bit more detail, a little more high quality. As it is right now, they're a little too smooth and shiny for my liking, but you know, they're fine. I just think I wish they would have gone with a different style for them, that's all. I do like the paintwork on them though. They have some silver and some green in there which match the rest of the character, so that's nice. Moving down, see, look, I wish the shoulder pads had a little bit of what we have going on down here. Like, this looks a lot better than and it might just be because the color, like all this shiny black just kind of looks funny, but down here we have some more silvers and like the purple for the loincloth or whatever you want to call this thing, and it just looks a little better down here. But yeah, that looks dope, and I like how the fur is purple with a bit of a black wash. That looks nice. And then down here in the legs, the wash gets a little inconsistent, and also like when you bend the knee, there's like no wash inside of the joints, so that's something they could have done better. But oh, these are dope, man. Look at these little skulls on his boots with the green eyes. Yeah, that's awesome. Got these big old clawed feet. And here's a closer look at the cloth. As you can see, it's just like a thick felt-like material. But it does the job, it's all good. And it does have these little plastic things on there to kind of weigh it down, so I like that too. And the pattern is nice. But yeah, man, I think there's some pretty nice sculpting work on here. And I do like the way this figure looks a lot. I like the design and the colors. And just a very cool looking figure. Skelegod doesn't really come with a whole lot, but he does come with a couple of cool things, including 2 different sets of hands. So first off, we have a set of open clawed hands. And then he has a set of gripping hands that could be used to hold on to the sword that he comes with. And the sword does look pretty nice. The blade does kind of have a metallic look to it, but the handle and the lower part of it pretty much just looks plastic. But I like that they put a little bit of metal on the blade, so that's kind of cool. And then aside from the sword, he also comes with this nice little energy effect that you could put over his hand. So even though it's not a whole bunch of stuff, I think it's a pretty good amount for such a big figure. And since I don't have any Masters of the Universe figures for size comparisons, we're going to show Skelegod with a bunch of random figures. So here we have him alongside the Marvel Legends Classic Dormammu and the Marvel Legends, I guess we'll call him Modern Dormammu. And next up, we have him alongside the Mythic Legion's Balam. I think that's how you say this guy's name. I'm not 100% sure. It's something like that. On the opposite side, we have the Mythic Legion's Faunus. And then next up, we have Skelegod alongside the Marvel Legends 80th Anniversary Thor and the Marvel Legends Hercules. And it might be fun to mix him up with these kind of characters because they kind of have like a He-Man vibe going on. And then next up, we have him alongside the Marvel Legends Kang the Conqueror, only because some of the colors match. And then on the opposite side, we have the NECA Golden Angel Predator. And then, of course, we have him alongside the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap and Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man. And then here we have him alongside the McFarlane Toys Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn. And it might be fun to put him up against Spawn because he is like a demon kind of looking character. So you might be able to do something cool there. And then on the opposite side of that, we have the NECA Defenders of the Earth Flash Gordon. And then just to show him with a couple of big figures, here we have him alongside the McFarlane Toys Devastator and the Marvel Legends MODOK by Hasbro. And Skelegod does have some pretty impressive articulation, especially considering that he's such a big figure. Starting off at the head, he does have a ball joint, so his head is able to move side to side. And the head sits pretty high on the neck, so we do get some tilt in there, which is cool. He can only look up to about right there, which isn't that much at all. And then he can only look down to right there. I do wish that he was able to look down a little bit more because I'm sure the other Masters of the Universe figures are going to be much smaller than him. So it'd be nice if he was able to look down at them. And then for the torso, we have a diaphragm cut, which means he could go side to side like that. It could go back a pretty decent amount. It goes back to about right there. And then it crunches forward only to right there. So I wish there was a little bit more movement in here, but it's still pretty good. And then he does have a waist swivel. And then at the arms, he has ball jointed shoulders, but no butterfly joints. I was a little disappointed that he didn't have any butterfly joints. But with the ball jointed shoulders, he can bring his arm up a really good amount, even with the armor piece. Because the armor piece is like a soft piece of plastic, so it doesn't really get in the way all that much. I mean, it stops it right there. But that's still a pretty good amount up. And then you could bring it back, you know, about the same amount. And obviously, if you wanted to remove the shoulder pads, then you could get his arm to go all the way around. It does come up to the side let's see, to about right there. Again, pretty good considering that he's got all these armor pieces clashing with each other. Could still get his arms up a really good amount. So that's not bad at all. And then he does have upper bicep swivel. He's got double jointed elbows. Bam, look at that. Look at that elbow bend right there. Way more than 90, even with these big ass things on his forearms. Bam, look at that. Pretty good stuff there. And then he does have a swivel at the wrist and a hinge. There you go. Yeah, so good stuff at the arms. And then for the legs, even though he does have like the armored skirt piece, you could still get his legs out a really good amount. He can kick forward. Damn, this stuff doesn't really get in the way at all, actually. He could kick forward to right there. And you could bring his leg back only to right there. But pretty good movement at the hips and stuff. That's dope. And then he does have upper thigh swivel. He's got double jointed knees. Look at this. Boom. Really nice double jointed knee. Man. Again, it's crazy for such a big figure. And then he has lower leg swivel. At the foot, he's got rocking ankles. And then they come out to right there. And then they come up to right there. So he's got a pretty standard 6-inch action figure articulation setup, you know, like nothing mind-blowing, nothing new. But once again, I'm very impressed with the articulation that they were able to put in here, considering that he's so big and he has all these armor pieces and all kinds of crazy things going on. They were still able to put all the articulation that it looks like the rest of the figures have. So I think that's dope, man. But yeah, this figure is definitely a lot of fun to pose and play with. Alright guys, so I've got to say, I'm actually pretty impressed with this figure. I think that Mattel did a good job. It's got a lot of good stuff going for it. Some really nice sculpting work, some good articulation, some pretty decent accessories, and it just has a really high fun factor. That's the thing that really caught me by surprise. I'm having a lot of fun just posing them around, messing with them, and checking them out. Because I don't know too much about the character, I'm kind of intrigued, you know, and I just want to find out how Skeletor ended up like this. Maybe it's common knowledge for Masters of the Universe fans, but for me, I have no idea. I just picked up this figure because I thought it looked cool, and it is cool, and now I'm like more curious to find out how we ended up like this, and now it has me looking forward to the show even more. So, you know, the figure does its job, and on top of that, this figure has me looking forward to the rest of the line as well. So I look forward to checking out the other Masterverse figures, even though I don't know too much about the characters. To me, like, a cool toy is a cool toy. I think this is a cool toy, and it makes me want to check out the other cool toys in the same line. So hopefully they come out as good as him. I doubt they will, because he has so many things going on. He has a cool design. He's big. You know, there's a lot of good stuff going on here, and He-Man just doesn't have that advantage. But we'll see. In any case, this figure has me looking forward to the rest of the line, and I think it did its job. So with that, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live. Thank you very much. Peace.